Trump is such an interesting building in the city because it's the first one in the 15 years I've been selling where if you can think about the fact that they started at one price when they initially put it up, began their marketing years ago, and then over time they increased the price. But then as they started delivering units, the resales are back here. So you've got this whole group of people who are under contract at prices that are above the market. And it's created quite a dilemma. A lot of people are losing money. And I get emails just about every day from people who have read the post that I wrote, which that was at the beginning of January, about the building, because I put it out there. I said, there are people who don't know what to do, and the building is, listing units now at over $1,000 a foot, $1,500 a foot, and the resale market's like between $550 and $750 depending on the unit. So it's really interesting. It's a very interesting dilemma.
It was interesting this week. I was talking to another agent who's doing had a lot of activity in Trump this year in selling investor units. And it sounds like dealing with a lot of units that were purchased early on, within the first week.
And that's key. You have to resell.
And how not only was this agent able to have one of her best years ever, or in a long time, but also was able to sell these units, turn a profit for those sellers, and yet undersell Trump by big double-digit percentages.
Like 50%.
Yeah. And so that's fascinating to me. I mean, that's and so what do you see here over the next year for that building? Are we continue seeing that?
Well, the developer is going to need to work something out with their lender. There's a lot of people who are under contract who cannot close and won't close because their contracts are over current market value, which means they can't get a loan, they can't appraise, they don't want to be stupid, but they've also got earnest money on the table. So the smartest thing would be for Trump to go back and renegotiate those contracts, but Trump's lender needs to be on board for that. In the meantime, there's a vibrant secondary market, but it's largely an underground market because if people can't close, but they'd like to try and turn their contract over to another buyer, they can't put it in the MLS. So I actually have an offer in negotiation with that agent that you interviewed last week for a unit in the Trump. And I had called that agent and a number of other agents and said, what do you have that's not listed? And that's really the way that somebody needs to show and bring buyers into Trump, is through that network of agents who know the building and are actively selling it, because you can't go with what's in the computer. There's just too big of a gap.